Hello guys, and welcome to a new Steel Division 2 video today by me, Vulcan. Today I have for you Tuukkaraski versus Shaun in round 3 of the second Steel Division 2 Championship. Today they are playing on Zbuczyn, and on our left in the red team playing on the Soviet side we have Tuukkaraski using the 84th Guard Rifles and the Juggernaut deployment type. And on our right we have Shaun in the blue team playing on the Axis side using the 21st Panzer and the balanced deployment type. So you heard me right, we're moving into round 3, having covered all of the available round 2 replays. In round 3 it's still best of 1 games, technically the quarterfinals, still all to play for. Tuukkaraski previously, he took out Grey Fox in the previous round and Shaun took out Ginks. Now they're up against each other, Tuukkaraski feeling very confident, bringing in the Juggernaut deployment type to a 1v1. It's not something you see very often because it has the least amount of income in phase A and B, which are generally deemed to be the most important phases in a 1v1. So even the balanced deployment type has advantage in phase A and B in terms of income, and that puts you in a very, very tough spot. But of course, if you get to phase C, and you get about 10 minutes into phase C, then you're really going to see the Juggernaut come to life. And that's when things can get pretty scary for even a balanced division in the late game. Especially if a division is built to take advantage of that phase C income. But then you generally sacrifice stuff in the early game, which is why it's not that good in general. People play Vanguard a lot in 1v1, and if Shaun had brought out a Vanguard 21st Panzer, Tuukkaraski would have been in trouble. But not in this case. The 84th has a good chance. It has the IS-2s, of course. It has some IL-237s. These King Tigers of the 21st Panzer will have to be careful. Although, it's actually pretty unlikely that we're going to see one straight off the bat. Probably more likely to see Panzer IVs and, as we can see already, the light armored cars in the recon tab. Those things are very nice, the 233s. Also, of course, the 21st Panzer gets nice artillery, a little bit of air force, not too much of an air force, but yeah, the artillery support is very nice, and that can certainly help the ranged engagements. Now, Zbuczyn does have this town in the middle, but then there's like longer ranged engagements on the bottom and top side. On this top, that could be controlled very well by a King Tiger covering all of these flags, and maybe putting some pressure onto this one. If he moves even further up, he's got even better line of sight down a lot of flags here. So that's something that Shaun could certainly take advantage of on his side. Whereas Tuukkaraski, he's got this hill, which does allow him to cover advances towards the factory area and the train crossing. Let's have a look at what's going down on each side. So Tuukkaraski on the top, he's going to be bringing in 2 Ognamachiki and a 45mm and an Avto. Avtos being the 10-man infantry squads with PPSHs. We've got the Deflamers and the AT. T-34 with Gvardia DP, they have the 2 machine guns. Then standard Gvardia and Gvardia DP with Avtos and Sapari Komroti. Further down we see the AT guns with the 2 Flamer squads. Ognamachiki, the Gvardia DP, Sapari Komroti. Wow, an 85 at the start. That's going to be the AA piece with the sniper and also a commander at the start of the game. On the bottom side, more flamers, 45mm and a Gvardia DP. So very infantry focused start from the 84th. They don't have the biggest infantry tab, so he will have to be careful going Juggernaut and using this much infantry in phase A. Might end up running out before the end of phase A, which would be really bad. Either way, on the side of Shaun, as we get the game underway, there is plenty of Panzergrenz here, with a Barryführer MG42. There's going to be some Ersatztruppen in there, 2 233s, and the commander following that up with an Ersatztruppen. That's why they all have 3-star veterancy already. Aufklärer coming in the SBW 222, really nice combination, gives you a nice stealthy recon squad plus a 222 with a 20mm autocannon. Ersatztruppen there as well. MG42 just going to be covering the train crossing, and on the bottom side 233 with a Pak 38 50mm and a bunch of Ersatztruppen covered by a Panzer 35. Okay, interesting choice. I generally don't think these have much value in the tank tab of the 21st, but nice to see them there. We'll see if Shaun can make good use of it. At close range, could provide some nice support for his Ersatztruppen. So both players unloading. Tuukkaraski already taking the lead in flags. But as Shaun's infantry continues to arrive, things might level out a bit, and already have. The transports of Shaun are a lot slower than that of the Soviets, especially when it comes to the jeeps on things like Ognemochikis versus the DMA trucks of the Ersatztruppen and the SEKFZs of the Panzergrounds. So these Panzergrounds, they are in fact 3-star veterancy. They're going to do a lot of damage to Gvardia at range with the help of the Battleyführer connected to this commandant back here. Well, it's not technically a commandant, it's a BEF U-304. The U-304 half-track with commander in it. Battleyführer making these two 3-star veterancy as well. They might actually cut off the Ognemochiki and Avtos on this top side, but they're pushing their own flags, so not too much of a concern for Tuukkaraski just yet. On the bottom, the Ersatztruppen pushing through with the 233, supported by the Panzer 35 further back. Pak 38's moving up to the edge of this tree line, likely to try and snipe any future transports that head this way. MG42 going to be engaged by the sniper. We'll try and fire back. The sniper might end up getting taken out there, actually. Oh, never mind. Shaun doesn't want that engagement. It's going to try and get into the building. And since he's moving, the sniper's going to get some decent damage in there for sure. It kind of doesn't make sense when I say that out loud. Anyway, Focke-Wulf 190G1 coming in with a 250 kilogram bomb mix. Short work of that. Sniper on the top side. The two-man squad going down very quickly indeed. 233 and 222. Might want to have a go at the 2-3 or the T-34 at close range, but more than likely going to rely on something like a Panzer IV to deal with that. But we see the Brummbär come in, and that's an interesting choice at the start. I'm not sure why he would have chosen to bring that in over a Panzer IV in this case. Maybe he saw the 45 and wanted to take that out, since the Brummbär is pretty good for destroying support weapons. It's also good for doing a lot of damage to infantry, but having seen this T-34... it's not the best for taking that out. Of course, the T-34 is going to struggle to kill the 115mm of frontal armor on that Brummbär, or penetrate it. But still, yeah, interesting choice. Have to wait and see how he uses it. With these Panzergrens having continued the engagement against the Gvardia, you can see the Gvardia have slowly been chewed up. One left on 4 health. The leader actually gets taken out because it wasn't on return fire and ended up firing. Oh, the MGs just take out the new infantry squad that was coming in. That's huge. Shaun now continuing to push in. Tuukkaraski in disarray. Avtos here might be able to chew up some of this infantry at closer range, but so far, that engagement from Shaun using those 3-star veterancy Panzergrens has paid off massively. MG42 doing a lot of damage to the Gvardia. Now it's got into a building that's not being shot at by the sniper. And these Ersatztruppen happily on the bottom side holding this position. And what's nice for these Ersatztruppen here is they can dictate a longer range engagement with the Kar-98s and the support from these armoured vehicles, since there's no heavy cover that connects towards this flag. So more Ersatztruppen being brought in here. Shaun looking to exploit the salient and take full control of the centre town. MG42 and a Pak 38 coming in. Looks like the Pak 38 is there to kill the T-34. MG42 there to help out with the Gvardia. Or 233, will it get the kill? It looks like he's gone for the engagement with these 2 recon vehicles. The 222 shooting it from one side, 233 hitting it from the other. I'm surprised he backed off when that was just about to get pinned. I think he may have just realised his mistake. He's going back in. But that might have given the T-34 time to reload and recover. 222, he misses. And the 233 get the job done. AP shell's got to penetrate. 222, I think it did the job just by sheer damage there. Now we see the IL-2 coming in. This is important. The IL-237. Can this get some good hits in? It would need to kill both the 233 and the 222 and the Brummbär to really have a good effect on this top side and bring it back for him. Because so far, Shaun has done very well with his infantry, which is not something you generally see too often with the 21st Panzer. 21st Panzer does struggle for infantry availability, just like the 84th, I guess. 84th, I think, is probably suffering worse right now, since the 21st has access to the Ersatztruppen. Although I think maybe the 84th has access to Chernos, but Tuukkaraski might have those in Phase B because of the Juggernaut deployment type. Still bringing in Gvardia, so that definitely has some availability of infantry left, but it's going to be getting light towards the end of Phase A here, and Shaun's already in a really, really strong position. I think, honestly, Tuukkaraski is struggling to back himself up, because 90 points per minute is like 4 units of Gvardia, or maybe a couple T-34s. But these T-34Es, they cost 50 points each, and therefore you can only technically bring one in 1 minute's worth of income. I guess you could do like 1 T-34 and 2 units of Gvardia. That'd probably be the most efficient way to bring them in every minute, just to kind of help hold things off. Seems to be what he's done, just kind of in a bit of a janky way. Right, more Panzergrens on the way to the town. He's certainly buffed up his position here. He's got the Zbuczyn that reinforced initially, plus 2 more units of Panzergrens, and he's making great use of the battlefield for the extra veterancy. Focke-Wulf 190 comes in again for the bombing strike, this time taking out another sniper team on the bottom side. That might allow the MG to move forwards and start engaging any support weapons that pop up. These Zbuczyn, they have found their way forwards. You can see that Shaun's like moved that forwards to probe the location, just to see where the enemy infantry is. I'm surprised he's not continued down here with any infantry, just to kind of force a salient and maybe force like Tuukkaraski to react to that as well as everything else. These Avtos, they haven't really been too effective at the moment. They could maybe try and sneak up on a Panzergren, but 3-star Panzergrens against a 1-star Avto, it's actually not going to end too well for the Avtos. Zbuczyn getting taken out by the T-34Es. Oh, that's going to be 1 unit popped there. The 222 goes down. Now, the best way to counter an IL-2 is to have nothing for it to kill, and honestly, that's kind of what Shaun's done throughout this game so far. Most of his armoured vehicles have been very cheap. The only expensive one really he's had on the field so far is the Brimbia, a very interesting playstyle. Of course, he has the Panzer 35 on this bottom side, but these are super cheap, 35 points. No Panzer IVs to be seen, no King Tiger. Just going all out with the infantry. Now bringing in some Gepards to force the IL-2 back, although Tuukkaraski is going to do that preemptively. Avtos pushing onto the Ersatz, going to take a lot of damage as they move across the open. This is not a good engagement for the Avtos. They're okay when they're already in heavy cover and then engaging things in light cover. But here, where the Zbuczyn have the heavy cover and Avtos have no cover, Zbuczyn get a lot of value. Nice Yak 1B bombing strike, though. We'll turn that around. Pak 38 currently engaging the T-34E here on the bottom side. That's what we could hear further down. But the Pak 38 engaged directly is probably going to die, I think, to the T-34E. It is a 3-star T-34E, so it's taking less suppression from these shots and does manage to pick up that AT gun. Oh, this T-34E decided to move forwards. Avtos, though, taken out by the Panzergrens, and then the Panzergrens also took out the T-34E. So a huge amount of ground grabbed there for Shaun. He's currently sitting 18-6. Will win in 3 minutes and 30 seconds, and I think, honestly, the Juggernaut deployment type is really causing Tuukkaraski to struggle big time in this game. 9 minutes and 30 seconds elapsed. We're not even into Phase B. And yeah, Shaun, with his use of veterancy, has just dismantled Tuukkaraski's unvetted infantry. And I think I've spoken about veterancy a lot previously, about how effective it can be. And this is just another good example of why veterancy is so important. Now the Focke-Wulf 190 coming in for the bombing strike onto the Gvardia just to pin down some more infantry here. Might actually end up killing out the Superi Comrotti. Nope. Doesn't have quite the splash to do that, but nice bombing strike once again. Going to be forced back by this 85. With the 2-star veterancy, that does have a chance to potentially one-shot a Focke-Wulf if it was flying straight towards it. But not going to happen this time around. T-34E and Gvardia will manage to kill off that Panzergren, probably give back the flag on that top side. These Gvardia also managing to take back that flag in the town briefly. But this position is under a lot of threat. The T-34E has gone down. The Panzer M4 has been brought up, the captured Shermans. And they are being used against those T-34s to great effect. Bombing strike there coming in taking out the Panzergrens. Zbuczyn, they've gone a little bit too far. Bumped into a bunch of Gvardia, and the T-34E will be taken out. Nice to see Shaun probing though with some infantry. Let's see if he can make any extra ground. Tuukkaraski though has brought it back to 15-9, so good job. Really good job. Let's see what's coming in. So more Zbuczyn on the way for Shaun. Apologies about my voice there, just had to clear my throat. Panzergrens under fire at a distance, not really too much they can do other than stay hidden, maybe go on return fire so they don't reveal themselves when the Gvardia show up. And this is how you deal with dug-in units. You give them something to fire at, and then you use a unit from distance to take them out. Focke-Wulf 190G1 really wants the bombing strike onto that Gvardia just to finish it off. And these two units down here, the M4 and the 233, are looking to find an engagement against these Flamer squads. But the 3-star Flamer squads will certainly carve up some Zbuczyn. More on the way. No veterancy here for Shaun, so might struggle to push in, especially if he manages Tuukkaraski to get some more of these Gvardia up. Will the Focke-Wulf find the bombing strike? He's lost line of sight. Going for it anyway. This is the mark. Only kills one of the men. So the bottom side's kind of been ignored by Shaun for the most part. Pushed up initially, but hasn't done too much there since. Now looking to just overwhelm the remaining forces here and take this flag back. Oh, he's already technically taken it back. But there's still the threat there from Tuukkaraski's infantry. Focke-Wulf 190 coming in for a bit of a strafing run to help out with the Panzergren engagement, but again, Panzergren's 3-star veterancy in heavy cover, killing infantry that's not in cover with no veterancy. Like, that is a huge disparity. And these are in light cover now, but as soon as these MGs fire every time, more and more men get murdered. Look at that. They're just getting absolutely wrecked. And down they go. Flags back in favour of Shaun. 17-7. Old and strong. And honestly, Shaun doesn't have to rush. He's playing balanced. In Phase B, he's pretty comfortable with the 140 points per minute. He's even managed to save up enough to bring in his King Tiger. It's finally on the board. This will be an IL-2 magnet, but probably doesn't really make too much of a difference at this point, since Shaun has set up his AA net on the top side. The 4 Gepards there with 2-star. I make that 3-star veterancy, sorry. Gonna do a lot of damage to an IL-2 if it tries to kill the King Tiger. What Tuukkaraski would need to do is find a way to break down the AA, either with maybe artillery or with like a T-34E, trying to find line of sight snipes onto those, and then he can maybe hit the King Tiger with planes. Yak 1B coming in for the bombing strike onto the Zbuczyn there. Oh, they're going to fly straight in towards the Gepards. It just suicides straight into the Zbuczyn. The Zbuczyn doing a runner, no doubt. My. That went down in a ball of flames. Focke-Wulf coming down to do the same. The dive bomb coming in onto the Saperi. Oh, that was a cracking hit. The Saperi started moving, so they took more damage. They didn't have the entrenchment bonus. And yeah, the Focke-Wulf just one-shots them from 7 health. Oh, lovely hit there from the 85. I said about the veterancy being able to shoot those down, and oh, that Focke-Wulf just got a little bit too close. Some explosive kills here. Lovely to see. T-34E taking out the MG. But King Tiger's on the way. Knock, knock. T-34E is going to want to do a runner. So Perry trying to take on the last Zbuczyn there. IL-2 coming in for the King Tiger. Right, did he not just see his Gyak get absolutely annihilated by a bunch of Gepards? Yeah. That's a pretty heavy AA net. 3-star veterancy, the 20 mils are pretty damn accurate. I'm not sure if that will actually get shot down because the range on these is not enough, but yeah, well, there it goes. With the T-34E dead on the top side to the King Tiger as well, flag goes back in favour of Shaun. IL-2 goes down. 3 seconds till the end of the game. Shaun, what a victory. That was very nicely done. Loads of value out of his units. That's going to be a hell of a KD, I reckon. 15 minutes, 25 seconds. Minor defeat for Tuukkaraski. Victory for Shaun. 995 kills, 455 losses. Actually not as efficient as I thought, but still more than enough to break down a Juggernaut in Phase A. The Juggernaut income there, I think, was the mistake for Tuukkaraski. If he'd brought in balance, probably would have had a little bit of a better time. But with 10 more income per minute, I mean, I guess it doesn't really make that much of a difference when Shaun was so far ahead at that point. I think the veterancy is what made the biggest difference. The 3-star Panzer just ripping through Gavardia is, yeah, making a big difference in this game. So, 233s, really good support vehicles, but taken out here by 45mm AT gun and an IL-232 or 37. This IL-237 really didn't get much value. The T-34Es, I liked them as a choice. They were good support for his infantry, but the Gavardias just didn't perform as well, and therefore left kind of the T-34s high and dry across the board. This 85 did manage to hit that Focke-Wulf on 90. I like the use of the 85 from the start. I think these are pretty underrated in the early game because they can stop an aircraft from basically bombing you initially. So what AA kind of does in this game is the aircraft will get its strike off, and yes, it might get shot down afterwards, but it's already kind of sometimes done its job with the bombing strike initially. Whereas the longer range AA in the form of the 85mm here and the 88s, they can hit them before they drop their bombs, which is really, really useful for just stopping those strikes initially. And therefore, like at the start of the game, things like these Focke-Wulfs, which don't have like a crazy amount of health and can get suppressed quite easily, you can get some cheeky kills, but most of all, you can just stop them from getting the bombing strikes in. Now, the placement of the 85 only covered the bottom side of the map, so the Focke-Wulfs managed to take advantage on the top side. But in general, that's something to think about. I quite like the use of those in the early game. Losses, we see those Panzergrens going to work. Double Gavardia, Superdi Comrotti. Like 2 for 1, basically, plus the leader. Then the Focke-Wulf on 90, nice snipes onto those snipers. And the Superdi squad going down there as well. This Panzergren, again, getting loads of value. Avto, 2 Gavardia, Superdi, and the T-34 with the Panzerfaust. Those are the kills that make the difference. They really are. All of these units that are getting kills, you can see have veterancy. Well, for the most part. The Brimbier and the M4 are vehicles, so it doesn't really make a difference. But the Ersatztruppen here, of course, not having veterancy because they're Ersatztruppen. But yeah, for vehicles, it's not so much of a problem if you don't have veterancy, because vehicles tend to benefit more from range engagements. If you want to get more efficiency out of your unit, engage at a closer range kind of thing. Veterancy can help with like more or less accuracy and reload time for longer range engagements, but that's about it. The reason veterancy is so good for infantry is because it actually gives them damage resistance, and that's huge when you're fighting 1 for 1 or 1 to 2. You can really exploit that massively. And so a disparity in like leadership makes a huge difference in games, and having the commander with the leaders, Shaun did a great job with that. And that's pretty much it. So there you go. Hopefully you guys enjoyed that one. Very decisive victory from Shaun against Tuukkaraski's Juggernaut. I definitely recommend staying away from Juggernaut in the future in 1v1s. But that's it. Yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.